We begin with President Biden meeting today with Republican senators hoping to strike a deal on a COVID relief package. White House correspondent Karen Travers and ABC News political director Rick Klein join us now for more on this. Karen, the Republicans' proposal is less than half of what President Biden has asked for. So is there enough common ground to work together, or is this a non-starter?
The White House is certainly downplaying expectations for today's meeting between President Biden and those 10 Republican senators. Diane, the press secretary Jen Psaki said today that this is a chance to exchange ideas. But she said this meeting is not about the president accepting any offer. So I think taking that off the table right there, we shouldn't expect to see any major breakthrough at 5 o'clock today. But there are big differences with the two proposals, the president's $1.9 trillion package and now this counter proposal of $618 billion from the Republicans. A couple things, though, that are very critical and could be deal breakers. You're seeing it right there, that the president would like to see $1,400 checks sent to most Americans. This Republican plan calls for only $1,000 checks sent to far fewer Americans. Republicans are saying that the push to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour is a non-starter for them. But there are some potential glimmers of hope. The two proposals do call for $160 billion for COVID response, and that includes vaccine distribution and several billions of dollars in food assistance for Americans who are struggling right now during the pandemic. But Diane and Terry, it's not just Republicans who are putting pressure on President Biden, saying he's got to live up to this pledge of bipartisanship. He's facing pressure from Democrats who are saying we're ready to go. We are going to move ahead without Republicans this week because we want to get something done. Chuck Schumer, the majority leader, has made it very clear that they do not want to repeat mistakes that he feels that the Democrats made back in 2009 and 2010 when they tried to work with Republicans on some of President Obama's top priorities, scaled things down, only to see Republicans not vote for the bills in the end.
You know, Rick, Congress used to know how to do this, and it's a negotiation, right? Your number's here, my number's here, maybe there's something in the middle. Is that possible in this day and age? President Biden's called for unity, bipartisanship. He has that history. Is this, in general, something of the past, or is he to have a chance to revive it?
Terry, this is a pivotal moment in answering that exact question. If this is Republicans trying to call a bluff, we're going to have to see Joe Biden play some cards here. And look, he has been pressed really from both sides on this. People have wondered, are you going into this, are you naive in trying to find some good old days that probably weren't all that good in the first place, where you could get Republicans to work with Democrats? Democrats think that there's really no sense. Many of them think there's no sense in even trying to engage in this. And in fact, it makes it harder to keep the party together if you go out there and engage with Republicans. But what the rhetoric that we heard at the inaugural address and through so much of the Biden campaign actually means when it comes to governing, the message from these Republicans is, look, there are deals to be cut here. These are the things that you could get done tomorrow. And the math is so important and so interesting here, Terry, because 50 Democrats plus those 10 Republicans, that's 60. That's enough to break a filibuster. The message implicitly carried by these Republicans is, look, we can get things done. We can carry things through the Senate if only you say yes to what we want. But for Biden, of course, that could come with the cost. And he knows that having to downgrade his ambitions early in his presidency comes with a political cost. It also potentially comes at a cost to his efforts to fight COVID, the defining battle of his White House.
And President Biden also signaled support for passing the package through budget reconciliation if negotiations fail. Our Mary Bruce asked White House press secretary if that meant that Biden has abandoned hopes for bipartisanship. Listen to her response.
I think it's hardly an abandoning of bipartisanship. Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi have both said they would also like it to be bipartisan. We'll see what comes out of this meeting today. And if there are good ideas to put forward, we'll put forward them. There's still time to do exactly that.
So, Karen, how does that reconciliation process work? And what do you think it would mean for Biden's hopes of unity and bipartisanship?
Yeah, so reconciliation is a mechanism that the Democrats could now use to bring that magic number to get the COVID relief package passed from 60 down to a simple majority, which means they could get it done, as Rick pointed out, if they keep all of their Democrats on board and everybody holds rank. So it's essentially eliminating the filibuster on something like this. And we saw this happen before. Republicans have used this before. They did it with the tax cuts for President Trump. And, one thing that's notable to hear from the White White House. They're saying that you could do reconciliation. That just changes the number from 60 down to the simple majority. But that doesn't mean Republicans can't vote for the eventual bill. There still could be bipartisanship. Now, there was a lot of pushback on that today at the White House press briefing. Questions about how, well, then the process isn't bipartisan. That's just hoping to get some votes in the end. But the White House is insisting that no matter how you get there, it doesn't mean that Republicans are prohibited from voting for this. And I think you'll still see then President Biden trying to do the outreach, the sales pitch, no matter what path the Democrats in the Senate choose to take on this bill.
And Rick, all of this is happening as the Senate prepares for former President Trump's second impeachment trial stemming from that insurrectionist attack on our Capitol. So now we're hearing Trump fired that original legal team that he had. In part, our reporting says because he wanted that team to argue that there was election fraud. He's got a couple of new lawyers. What do you make of this?
Well, he doesn't have the A team or the B team at this phase. The White House lawyers, those involved in his first impeachment trial a year ago, they didn't want to be part of this. The second wave of lawyers, in part recommended by Senator Lindsey Graham in South Carolina, they're out as well. The individuals that are now on board include one man whose law firm was just recently suing the Trump administration over the Postal Service. He also happens to be perhaps best known for failing to prosecute Bill Cosby as a local attorney, prosecuting attorney in Pennsylvania. The other lawyer has pronounced publicly that he doesn't think that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide. So this is an odd mix of folks, and they're playing potentially a pretty easy hand. We know that Republicans are on record, 45 of them last week, saying this whole trial is not even constitutional. That might be the easy way to go, just to stick to that. But if the president wants a defense that relitigates the false claims, the lies that helped contribute to the awful events a month ago at the Capitol, he is going to find a lot more resistance, and it might be just a smarter legal strategy to keep this relatively simple.
Yeah, he's a tough client. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Rick Klein and Karen Travers, thanks for that report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.